Hey everyone. So, I just got back from Venom: The Last Dance, the third and final film in the Venom trilogy, and the latest installment in the Sony Spider Man universe, SSU as it were. And with that in mind, as someone who has a soft spot for the first two movies, which I rewatched last night, I definitely I thought this was a solid ending to a trilogy, even if it's definitely not going to be ranking up the highest installments that end and the entire storyline and potential franchise. I mean, it's no Endgame or Logan, but it's certainly not Dark Phoenix either, I'll say that much. So, let's begin. And the story takes place 1 year after the events of the previous movie left off, with Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote played one last time by Tom Hardy into a role. There's in this continuity, on the run from the authorities. He's in a journey that takes them from Mexico back to the mainland United States. It's as they try to elude who not only a mysterious this entity known as the Null, played by Andy Serkis, and the morally ambiguous military colonel, who, played by Chiwe Telegeofor, or it definitely proves to be quite the bonkers experience, and I definitely will admit, as someone who, like a lot of people, has never had the highest point of view of the SSU, who I will say, hey, that the character of Venom is definitely a bona fide icon among many people. That can carry a movie in a way, hey, that Cassandra Webb and Michael Williams necessarily can't. Don't get me wrong, I still maintain that even after time has passed, that both Man and Webb and Morbius fall into so bad good territory, with Craven being a bit of a gimme in terms of recognition and quality, though if it ends up being as bananas as this movie was, or the other SSU ones were, then I'll definitely enjoy talking about that one most likely. And the film also marks the directorial debut of Kathleen Marcel, who co-wrote the first two movies, so it's not that big a leap to be directing this one. And admittedly, hey, it's not the most complex story. It definitely plays like a as almost equal parts road trip buddy picture, or where the buddy just happens to be like an alien symbiote inside a person, and 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 definitely has that aroma of the 2000s era comic book movies, where for every adaptation that managed to faithfully capture the material, if not the letter, there were ones that were just completely insane. I say that not to be insulting, but to be accurate. I mean, and like the moment I saw Venom reunite with Miss Chen, who was merely the ensemble to, of course, the previous movies in Vegas, and then they danced to an uptown version of Alba's Dancing Queen, and and I said to myself, yeah, that was definitely worth the price of admission, certainly. And while I am unfamiliar with the Knoll, what I did find out about him and the other followers in the movie, the at least based on wiki entries, is definitely a not one to be traveled with lightly. So even though he is more or less like imprisoned and something of a space between spaces, he does not strike me as someone you want to be on the bad side of at all. Likewise, I'm unfamiliar with all the new supporting and cast members. There's least of all Juno Temple as this scientists reluctantly working with the authorities. But she does seem likable enough as someone who lost her brother at a young age in a lightning storm. It's and also Rice Ifans as a hippie living with his family in an old Volkswagen bus. That was pretty interesting. I mean, I like to think that after her the lizard got a new lease on life, he decided to who who's find out that traveling the country he and talking about aliens was a bit more fulfilling than eating people. I mean, again, and as someone who is still working on analyzing not one, not two, but three more elevated horror films before this month's out, I thought I might as well give you your regularly scheduled dosage of silly. I mean, and on that note, while hell, they may have put out more individual films this year, including Upon Craven, compared to the main Marvel or DC branches, is they did do something else to help with the fatigue that some audiences are experiencing with the genre. I mean, that the budget is fairly in line with the first two movies at about $100 million, $120 million at the most. Which to mean, and for the record, it definitely looks solid. I mean the new symbiote characters I bring in, including ones that also look up on the wiki like Agony and the Lasher, as well as the tracker known as Xenophage, do at least look more convincing than in Man and Web, where you had again and Ezekiel Sims in a very mixed costume redesign. I mean, when the bat suit I got hanging in my closet looks more convincing than your suit, it's time to call it a day. Yeah. And while it definitely looks like the finale is indeed the end of the character in this timeline, I won't get into much specifics here. If you see the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There have been some conflicting reports, but what I understand is that Hardy is very much not against the idea of officially bringing his original character to Marvel for real. And it also seems to also corroborate that, again, like some of the other characters in the SSU are potentially being sold or already given to the main branch. Not counting the Spider-War or spin-off show they're working on for Prime. And also got one about Silk, who it's not a character I'm familiar with, but I definitely I would be curious about seeing. All the same, out of the comic films I've seen theatrically this year, I put this above Madam Web, and in the ballpark of Joker for the Ado, give or take half a points, but still below Deadpool and Wolverine. And I guess I'll find out what the ranking looks like on Christmas time when Craven comes out, man. So, and only real beefs about this one is like the story I think could have been fleshed out a bit more, or but I gather it's another film that's impacted by the dual strikes. Like, next, they had to have production temporarily shut down because of them. And also, despite the title and the music tracks it did feature, they still did not feature Donald Summer's Last Dance in any capacity, which I think would have fit pretty well with the whole kind of saga horror comedy vibe that this trilogy has had. And for what it's worth, I definitely don't have anything against people who had issues with it myself. I mean, like, and to be fair, even the positive reviews are scrubbing through who basically said what's effective. If you are not into this, you know to apply, and if you are, you know exactly what you're in for. I still maintain some works are this weighs a kill an hour 50 minutes. So final rating is Hamilton the Door is 3.5 stars out of 4, 4 stars out of 5, and well, before I encode this, I'm going to speedrun some coming attractions. And okay, so November 8th, the best Christmas pageant ever. I honestly keep forgetting this new version is coming out. I mean, the book is admittedly a classic that I actually rather enjoy. However, I am kind of surprised it's getting theatrical release at all when it has this sort of straight to VOD aura about it. I mean, it's looks like something you might see on Hallmark Channel whenever you're looking for something to put on the background. I've seen my fair share of those kind of campy, big Christmas films when times when that was always on the dish. I mean, a while back. So this is definitely gonna be one that I certainly hope turns out alright. Right, but also, I won't be surprised if it ends up falling short. Is all. Skipping over Gladiator 2 because that's coming out the same year that Marvel vs. Capcom is gonna be coming to my place. I will definitely say my most anticipated film of November is Moana 2. I am definitely a big fan of the first film. It still ranks some of my favorite animated canon installments of the last 10 years. And I also was highly amused by putting their phone on silent spot as well, with, of course, Hey Hey, who is basically like the Olaf of this story, since it more or less does for the South Pacific what Frozen does for Norway, and also in the process shows off Alan Tudyk's range as a performer. Yeah. Okay, so finishing in one go with both December 20th releases, I still maintain I think Mufasa looks fine. I typically don't pounce on live action versions of Disney's work like other people do. I still think the Lilo and Stitch one looks like it'll be fun with Stitch's design giving me Detective Pikachu I Rocket Raccoon vibes. But I'll close up on my most anticipated film of December, coming out the same weekend even, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The first two films being big hits and capturing the spirit of the hit video games. It definitely is something I'm going to be making opening weekend for, or come Gerald about Night Go High Water. I'm also going to be opting into the expansion and for Sonic Cross Generations as well that ties in the movie. Yes, I'm still playing the game. I'm enjoying it so far, and I definitely have more to say about it very soon. And that'll be all for now. And I will see you all tomorrow with my next vlog on the Penguin. So take care, everyone.